It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 It's been a long day. I mean a long week. Maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot. Ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling, cocky and appealing, possibly revealing, getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom, something like a wonderland. Understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, everybody? I hope that you're having a great evening. My name is Bleeves. We are here for Bedtime with Bleeves. I'm going to tuck you in with all that cryptocurrency knowledge that you've been lacking all day, all the stuff you've been waiting for, all the information that you just needed in order to have that great day. By the way, AI generated background, because that's the new jam, right? So, yeah, if you're wondering if I spend my time wisely, I do not. All right, Tony P in the house. What is going on? BRL in the house. If we are waiting for a pullback to buy in on BRL, now is your chance. Luna Wolf in the house. Hi, how are you? Tom Clyde, will it stick? If we Coinbase, will it stick? No, but it could get sticky. Maddie B, what is going on? David Hammaker in the house. So what do you think, Believes? Are we going to skyrocket the market, or are we going to back down? It's exactly what we're talking about tonight. So stay tuned. You're about to find out. Richard Nelson in the house. What is up? Rio in the house. Hopefully 25 BPS. I do think it's actually going to be 25 BPS. 99.9% of everyone says that that's what it's going to be. I prefer to think that it's probably going to be 50 basis points and that they're going to drive the market down in the near term. But since Harker went out the other day and said that that it's time to draw down a little bit, I think that, you know, we're pretty much at 25 now. It really depends on the information that the Fed is getting. If the information that the Fed is getting is worthy of a continued 50 basis point hike, then that's what we're going to get. Now the other part is if they draw down. So here's what's going to happen: if they draw down all of these increases too early in some way, then that means that the poor people are not going to be able to stay poor. There's an opportunity for them to get rich. And Jerome Powell's job is to protect the wealthy. This is capitalism. His job is to protect the rich so that the rich stay rich, and that we do so on the backs of the poor and the middle class. That's the American way. That's exactly how capitalism at its finest works. Sergio, what is going on? Deadwood in the house. Richie Ron, what is going on? I think that we're going to see 50, but I would love to see 25. Christ is Lord in here. First time here. God bless you. All right, then. Happy birthday to whomever it is. Happy birthday, Deadwood. Northeast Philadelphia in the house. Oh, man. Do you know Will Smith? Do you know the Fresh Prince by any chance? It's this guy I heard about. Dump incoming, but bring it on. Got a nice bag waiting to buy more. Don't think so. don't I actually, here's the thing. We've reached the greed point of the market, and a lot of what we're doing today is we're going to be ignoring most of the news, and we're going to look in. As you can see here on the pre-markets, pre-markets are a mixed bag, up, but just barely. So nothing to write home about. The market has started to move right back up to where it was before. Market cap is 1.04 trillion. So it's down about 14 billion, but that 14 billion is something that could just pop up at a moment's notice. So $56 billion in the market trading. So I think that we're in fairly decent position. The one real article that I wanted to get into, well, there might be two or three, but generally speaking, there's a whole bunch of charts and stuff like that that are making the rounds on Twitter that we're going to get into. U.S. stocks, treasuries, and Bitcoin tumble ahead of the next Fed meeting. Now, this really is that everybody at this point is just pricing in what it is that they expect to happen next in anticipation of several major moves. Number one among them is the FOMC meeting, which is going to happen tomorrow, and we're going to see the results of which being announced by Jerome Powell Wednesday. If there is an announcement, by the way, there's an announcement that's going to be supremely negative in some way, then we're going to be watching the Wall Street Journal, because that is how the Fed leaks the information to the market, because the purpose there, again, is to ensure that the rich stay rich and that the poor don't have an opportunity. So they're going to be leaking it out if need be. And then we'll find out which way it's moving. Justice Department, by the way, this is the one crazy thing here today. So the Justice Department defends motion to bar SBF from accessing FTX and Alameda assets. Sam Bankman-Fried is asking John Ray and Ryan Miller if he can talk to them to just kind of help them along in their process. And he would need access to the accounts so that maybe he can help. He says, I myself can't access the funds, but I suspect that your team likely has the ability to move and safeguard these funds. I would be happy to talk about the ways you likely are able to access them if helpful. Like, this is out of control, man. This guy just does not understand. He has no comprehension and no self-awareness about what is going on right now. And it's absolutely bonkers and crazy to see it happening day in and day out. And the last piece before we get into just a bunch of charts and Twitter stuff is Bitcoin dominance rises as Bitcoin tapped 5-month high at 24K on the market watch. And we saw that yesterday. They hit 24,000, and then we had this immediate retracement, right? So what does all of it mean? First up, we have CZ Binance says history doesn't predict the future, but this is the history, 4-year cycles so far. And here you have when each one of the cycles had occurred and what the start price and end price was for the year. And then you can see how this is all kind of breaking itself down and breaking itself out. And you can see here how the recovery is starting to take shape. Now, here's the important part. When you look at your overall numbers here, take your 317 to 432, you're looking at a 36% increase. Because we're looking at 2023, by the way. In 2019, you went from 3674 to 7158, 95% increase. 2022, so far, 38% increase. Now, if all of these things are indicators or portents to what could happen, maybe 22,700, maybe 25, maybe one of these big runs, maybe that's the best that we see towards the end or as we get there. But I do think that we're looking for 35,000 Bitcoin by the end of this by the end of this year. So I got a feeling. I've got a feeling that the market is not going to end up being denied at this point. Of course, any kind of major move is going to happen in the second half of the year. It's not going to happen right now, but that does not mean that we don't have some positions that, and I cleaned up my chart, by the way, color coordinated a couple things on the Bitcoin chart so that you guys can see what it is that I'm talking about, and we're going to jump into that right now before we get to the next piece. So here is the chart. And by the way, we're pumping back up just so you guys can see. And I want to point out something here. The market is pumping. Bitcoin is not pumping as well, but Ethereum has been on the move a little bit better than some of the other stuff. You see it's up 0.45 so far, up a little bit more than the total in the market, and up about 3x over Bitcoin just in the last little while. But it's been going on for a few hours now that Ethereum seems to be getting its quote unquote groove on. When we get to, when we get this number right here, which is 995 almost, when we get this back up into the trillion area and we're up at this level, then that's going to be another few percent increase, which means that Ethereum will be up a few percent more. Being up a few percent more is a significant number considering even though we were at 1640, Bitcoin was a lot higher, and the prices, I think that Ethereum is back on the move. I think that we're starting to get closer to the Shanghai upgrade and starting to recognize that everybody is starting to recognize what's going on, and that maybe, just maybe, we're in for something special. Now, I also want to point out, I'm going to circle this over here. You see this MACD crossover, right? When that MACD crossover happened, here we go, right? Well, the MACD crossover happened over here. And what happened right there? We were back down. Well, MACD crossover just happened again. So here we go. Now, the question, of course, is do we mint higher or lower? So we're going to back off of that just a little bit. We're going to close those out. Now we're going to back down here and we're going to see where the chart takes us. And when we're looking at local numbers, you can't help but to notice when you're looking at Ethereum. Now, you can make an argument that this is still going up. We were making this argument, or at least trying to, in the beginning, that it was going up. But I mean, this does look down to me. This looks like an aberration of the move here. But I mean, you can see right here, it's clearly that we're moving in this downward sort of momentum, right? Almost to the point where you could make an argument here that this is just that downward parallel channel, right? So that's the way that that portion looks like. But we're going to remove that for right now. And we're going to say that maybe, just maybe, what we're seeing play out, or what we're about to see play out, is a continuation of this right here. So maybe we're looking at this part right here, and we're starting to get some upward momentum. Now, it's a really weird chart when you look at it, right? Because you've got this giant move up, and you've got this other giant move up, but it was so hard for this thing to sustain. It dropped back down while Bitcoin did not. Bitcoin stayed at its own level. Ethereum, however, has just kind of fought its way through this weird sort of situation here. So I don't know. I can't get a read, by the way, on what's going on with Ethereum. So if you have not, you really got to take a hard look at it and just, I don't understand what is happening on the chart right now, other than extreme volatility and maybe a lack in some way of clarity on what's going on for Ethereum. No announcement that's going to move it in the positive. We're just kind of holding on, thinking that Shanghai upgrade is going to be enough. And, maybe it's not enough. Maybe we don't have the pump out there that we think we do. So we'll see what's happening here. What's up, Callum C? Cars, crashes, and smashes. The meeting is tomorrow and Wednesday. The announcement is going to be on Wednesday. CEO, when 1337. I don't know. We're going to have to ask Modi that one. Hey, Bleef, sorry I'm late. What is going on, Trail Boss? Enjoyable lifestyle in the house. VoltiFlex is bullish. VoltiFlex is, look, all of that's going on right there. All that's going on over there is going to be one of those gigantic payoffs at some point. Justin W., what up, brother? Somebody, by the way, when we're talking about Volt, I gotta point out something, because somebody did point out something that was very, very important. And they said, we're at the point right now where Volt is having a little bit of difficulty, right? Not in delivering, but delivering price action. So what their thought was that, you know, it's going to take a tier one exchange, and a good one, to create some enthusiasm and to reestablish some of that feeling for Vault. Because, you know, when you look around, you can see that Fomc, which is kind of in that same sort of line, is now trading at a 250 million market cap. By the way, shout out to Fomc, just absolutely crushing right now. Here it is right here. You can see 230 million market cap, just absolutely going out of its mind right now. Really, really having a good run, up 100% in the last couple of days. So congratulations to Fomc. And when you come over here, you have this, the Ghanaian school, Fomc, is building through Pencils of Promise. Has been finally completed, and the inauguration is happening today. Today launches the Ghana Education Service Dodo Dompa DA Kindergarten. This school block was built by Pencils of Promise, Fomc, and the community, by Fomc, for the people. It's been inaugurated on the 30th January 2023. So congratulations to Fomc, one of the biggest initiatives that they've undertaken so far. Today, I want to say it comes to fruition, but really, it just starts today. Today is the day that school is something for the people. So congratulations to Fomc. Definitely a deserved victory lap. And the price action is definitely showing what's going on there. And it was up 20% from where it is right now during that period of time. And, you know, as I said before, it's just really, oh, by the way, Kabosu out of its mind right now. Kabosu is just going absolutely crazy. But again, Fomc just going bonkers. But Volt needs, you know, listen, we've established Volti-Change. We've established VoltiFlex. We've shown 66, I think, different cryptos that have now adopted it. The third biggest crypto by trade volume is SHIB, meaning that Volti-Change is now helping to burn enormous amounts of SHIB, which of course burns an enormous amount of Volt as well, leading to diminished supply and hopefully a run on the price, even if we're not trading any higher than, let's say, a 50 million market cap. If we trade, look, it's very simple. If we traded a 50 million market cap, and your bag right now, and let's say you have 10, I think it's 10, say 10 billion. So if you have 10 billion, it'd be $7,537, which would be the value of your tokens. And we're trading at that 49.6, $50 million market cap. And the supply of tokens was cut in half, then the price would double because there was half the supply. The market cap would still be the same, and you would now have, your bag would be worth, instead of 7,500, be worth 15,740. So, you know, we really want to see some serious burns happen. It's going to need to, you know, at some point we're going to have to see some real big burns. And look, there's a lot of people that are not going to be here at the end. There's a lot of people who are not as faithful as some of us who've been here for a long time are. And they're going to take off at some point. They're going to say that they're out just because they weren't meant to be here at the end anyway. So we're going to need some movement in the upward direction, or we're going to start seeing some more bottoms, including move back down here into the sixes, which we did not want to see. I did feel like the last time when we really kind of fought right here, I did think that we were probably looking at a market that was going to allow this thing to hold without losing that zero. It just did not happen. And of course, that caused to break down the price action. And look, people as investors are not long-term investors. They're some of us are, but not as many of us as we would like to think, or not as many of us as brag about it, because they'll be all fine and dandy and they'll come into the chat and they'll be like, oh yeah, baby, I'm here for the long haul. And then, 3 weeks later, they need a latte. So they're gonna have to take out a loan against their Volt in order to buy something at Starbucks, and there they go. And or they just can't handle themselves. They can't just sit there and wait for something to grow. They have to see it happening all the time. So, they're just not going to be here. They're not going to be here at the end. So those are the people that we're watching just kind of G'd out. And that's okay, because we're going to need those people at some point. We just don't need them at this moment. But there is a moment, there will come a moment when we need those people. And so it's important that they stay around and that they keep doing that thing. So it's fun because, by the way, the buying and selling, those are reflections. They help to move the tokens. And by the way, I do hope at some point, I'm not saying that it will happen, but I do hope at some point Volt moves on to a V3. And the reason that I say that is I think that it's time to get rid of reflections and turn that into just staking. The novelty of the reflection process has not worn off, but in order for the markets in order to get on major exchanges, they don't do reflections. So reflections have become a redundancy, and it would be nice if we just didn't have to deal with some of the things that having these micro caps and reflection processes create. So I'd really like to see that turn into a staking mechanism now that Voltiflex is figured. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but we'll see what happens. But I mean, again, like there's got to be a move. There's got to be a move coming for Volt to just kind of get its pump on. The market, by the way, continuing to move. We are getting some of that upside momentum back. Asian markets seem to be in a buying mood right now. Hopefully that leads to what we can see down here on the MACD. The price has moved back into the green. And it'd be nice if we could see this move into this good green here, because that's 30 or 40 points of price action. Now, if we could get from here 30 or 40 points of price action, that puts us back in the 16 realm. It's not exactly where we want to be, but it is better than where we were. And if we can get a nice run going, something like this right here, then that's how many points is that? That's what's the percentage on this one? That's about a 7.5% move very quickly, and 115 points of price action. That would take us from 1574 to 1680, which is exactly where we're supposed to be, by the way, according to my chart right here. So there's that. And we still haven't gotten to the Bitcoin thing, by the way, which we're going to get to in just a few moments. Now, I want to keep going on here. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we are now in greed firmly. This right here, this is not, listen, Crypto Rover, it's just not killing it when it comes to making predictions, by the way. I am not saying that you should go read this guy, look at this guy, watch this guy, but he did point out right here that these things happened, right? And that this ended up being the start of a bull run. This ended up being the start of a bull run. Well, we're doing it again. So when anybody tells you that it's not the start of that bull run, it's not what the chart says. Now, here's the other part. The other part is you see right here, these were fake outs along the way. This one did not have a fake out, but it did have a little correction over here. It had that COVID correction, by the way. Otherwise, who knows how far it would have gone, right? And to be fair, probably would have gone where it went because people were sitting at home. But there we are, 400 and something days. It's over. It's time for that move to come. So, hopefully by the end of 2024, 7 trillion market cap. And if there's a 7 trillion market cap, by the way, I want you to know that as we sit right now, we're at a 1 trillion market cap, and we have a $23,000 Bitcoin. So a 7 trillion market cap is basically 23 times 7. That's $161,000 Bitcoin if we have a $7 trillion market. And of course, that's because 42% of the market is Bitcoin. It's going to always be in the 40 to 42% range. So get ready for it because things are about to get real interesting. Okay. Also, Crypto Rover, again, I don't rely on him. However, he did have some actual points on these charts right here. You can see here these resistance points that seemed to be pointing this way. And what he didn't account for, by the way, was if you pull this out, there's also this was also used as support back here. So what he really did find was a long-term sort of resistance line right there. So that being said, if we're hitting off of this, then that does cause a downward correction every single time. What happened over here? Downward correction. What did he say? Important resistance. And he thought that it was going to be a bearish move. And what happened? It went bearish, and we had to correct down. So then this one, Immortal said this a day ago, said that he expected, and this is, by the way, you can't even call this stuff this accurately. He says that this is getting ready to happen and that we're headed up to 30,000 afterwards, right? So what happens? Exactly what he says. Now, the question is, do we actually go to 30,000? I don't know that that's the number. I don't know that that's where we're headed. Here's what I do know. And here we go, finally, with the Bitcoin chart. Now, when you look right here, you can see that this is our support line right here. This is our resistance right here. This is the first level of resistance. I put all of the resistances in purple. So these are the big areas that you're going to need to look at right now. We are using this one as support, but we've also got this 22.8 right here. Not big. We've already seemed to have been able to kind of push. We're into it. We're going to have to push past it. And this line, this kind of parallel line here, it's going to act as another form of resistance here. So if we hit right around here, I want to say, then 23,127 becomes a temporary point of resistance for this upward facing channel. If we get back in there, then we bounce off of that and we come up here to 23.5. We test 23.5. If we can break through that one and then we can start moving, then the next one up is 24.3. Now, this is where we're going one way or another. And I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit. That green is where we're going, or that red is where we're going. Now, so Wednesday, we're going to get an announcement from the Fed. If it's 50 basis points, we're going to be testing this out down here very, very quickly. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to see new bottoms. We're not going to see 10,000, 12,000 or anything like that. We're not going to test new bottoms. This is just where we're going to end up. We're going to end up at 20,700, and that's going to be the correction at 50 basis points. If it's 25 basis points, then the rally gets to continue. If the rally gets to continue, then the next step up here is for the bulls with their motivation on their side to make this move into the 25,000 range. Now, if the 25,000 range does hold up, then the next area is going to end up being right up here. It's going to be in purple again. But, and I always put this one up and we never seem to get to it, but 27.7 right there. Then, of course, there's 28, there's 29, and then there's 31,565. Now, 31,565 is gigantic. That is the end. When we get over that, when we get over 31,500, the bull run has started. And the reason for that is very simple. This 27.7 over here, this 31.5 right here represents the June collapse. This is Voyager, this is Celsius, this is all of it going down. This is Elon selling all of his Bitcoin so that he has cash on hand for Tesla. This is all of that happening. Over here is Sam Bankman-Fried, this is Terra Luna getting destroyed right here. And this was at 39,549. So that's a little far away. What we need, what we need is we need this level to be beaten for good. We need 25.2 and to start using it as support. We need that. That's going to be the first step. That's that August number right in here. This is where the merge was happening, and we saw that upward momentum. And then the merge didn't. Then the merge caused the sell-off. Then we started moving back down. Then we started finding out about more bankruptcies. We started finding out about more, which led to FTX over here. So we need 25.2. Then we need this 31,500 right there. We get that, then we're off to the races, and the bull run has officially started. If we don't get that, then we are going to end up at some point testing more down towards the bottom. So that's where it is. Crow, same kind of look. Nothing's changed for anybody. But you can see here, Crow has not held up nearly as well as the Ethereum or any of the rest of the stuff so far today. You can see over here that it did a little bit of a move, but not much. So anyway, that's where all of these things are. SHIB is kind of running, but it's sideways. It's 11. Look, we're going from 11.4 to 11.8. I mean, we gained 40 points. We haven't even gained 10% yet or 5% yet. So we need a little bit more before we see it. Now, Doge, on the other hand, has started to make a big move because we did get that information from Elon that he has applied for whatever regulations are needed for Twitter to become a payment platform. So we went from 8.8 cents up to 9.5. And now we have this enormous amount of resistance here at 9.5 cents that we're still going to have to fight through with Doge. So we'll see how that goes. I don't expect much. I don't expect much because you need Doge as look. That's the Doge is the antithesis and the continuation of what's going on with SHIB. If we can get Doge mooning as well as SHIB, and we can get them both moving at the same time, then all bets are off. We may pull retail money back into this market before they even know what's good for them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I hope that makes perfect sense. If we can pull some of that retail money back into the market, then that would be a catalyst, and all bets are off at that point because that will end up being a gigantic move that we didn't expect, and that will change the dynamic of this market in the most positive of ways, especially because that'll mean that people are interested all of a sudden in putting their tax money into crypto. And if that happens, then we're going to be set to sail. So let's hope for that to happen. In the meantime, we're going to close this out for just a few minutes. But again, I do want to stress here that this 31 and this 20, we could go either way in this market right now. So I do hope that we maintain bullish. I do hope that we continue to move to the upside. I do like what we're seeing so far. And I do think that the Fed is not going to wreck everybody. I don't think that they think that it's wise at this point to I think they need to upset the market, but I think what they're doing is already upsetting the market, and it might be important to let it kind of play out. Now, one of the things that most people, if you're bearish about this and you're looking for some reasons for it to go down, then your argument is going to be, well, gas prices are still kind of high, and that's fair. But gas prices are not high because the price of oil is high. Gas prices are high because the crumbling infrastructure that the United States has on refineries continues to be an absolute disaster and an absolute mess. So there's no real BP up here near me outside of Chicago is just they whatever anything that they do is a disaster. The same thing is happening over in Illinois. The same thing is happening in Texas. Texas just announced, I think, $7 billion to upgrade their facility because it's in such a state of disrepair. And that's everywhere. There's refineries in Kentucky. Same thing. It's everywhere. These refineries are in sore shape. It used to be, by the way, many, many moons ago, back in the 70s and 80s, there were something like 200 refineries across the country, and now we're down to like 105 because big oil keeps closing them in order to maximize their profit structure, because it's not about providing you with gasoline. It's about meeting their bottom line. And you can thank Milton J. Friedman for all of that. University of Chicago, what a dirtbag he was. Not that he did destroy, whatever our economy was, by the way, whatever it was. It's not that he destroyed it, by the way. It's that he pointed out that it's better to have, it's better to answer to your stockholders than it is to answer to your employees. And that led to people saying, well, you know what, why don't we do this? And they stopped having parties. And remember, some of you may not even remember. Some of you may not even have any context and know what I'm talking about. But it used to be where, you had something was going on. There was an event, And once a month there'd be a party. Your employer would hold a party, or they would hold a barbecue, or they would hold a picnic, or they would do all of all of these things for the employees. And Milton J. Friedman said, you know what, you shouldn't do that, because they're not the people that you owe anything to. Those are your resources. The people that you owe stuff to are the stockholders, the investors in your company. That's who you're beholden to, and that's who you need to take care of. And that, by the way, is when the stock market got on this, what is now 50-year bull run, 40-year bull run. And by the way, if anybody ever tells you that they're a savvy or a great investor or anything like that, and then you're like, okay, well, where'd you make your money? And they say, well, the stock market. All you have to do is pick something and just let it sit. Okay, it doesn't make you a great investor. By the way, for those of you that are not already, we are going to do this right here. And I just screwed that up. Ain't that a bitch? On Friday, I'm having a little competition here. Really not a competition, but we're going to have a drawing on Friday. And here we go. Like and subscribe, $100 USDC giveaway Friday. Drawing will be held for all members of the channel. You must be a member. Memberships are $4.99 per month, and be present Friday morning to win $100 in USDC. So I'm going to remind you about this competition and this contest all week long. If you want to get involved, then become a member of the channel. If you don't, no big deal. We're still going to provide you the news. We're going to still provide you everything that you need. But if you want for the $100, then we're going to do that. We're also going to be giving away that hoodie in the next couple of days. So I haven't decided what it is that we're going to do for the hoodie yet. But we're going to do something to do that hoodie giveaway so that somebody can be the biggest believer ever, which is going to be pretty fun. Now, let's move on to a couple more things here, and we're going to be out of time. First of all, Kobosu went absolutely out of its mind today, set an all-new high. I mean, went out of its mind today, and ended up at, what is this, 47.63. Had a 49% day, 68%. Actually, it's a 2-day total. Shit, this is on these 1 hours. Like this is look at this massive sort of move. And by the way, it did exactly what we said it was going to do. Like you really can't look. You can't really predict when everything is going to happen. But what you can do is you can look at these charts, and when these things are forming into these tight little wedges, something has to happen, right? Well, it broke to the upside of it, but then it continued to consolidate because of the market conditions, and then all of a sudden it just went out of its mind and broke an all-time high all over again. So congratulations to them. We already talked about Floki, RBIF, 1920, SHIB, 1186, starting to move on the day. Bone down to 130, still not in that buy zone. Buy zone is still down here at that 119 level. I am not a buyer at 125. I'm not a buyer at 130 for sure. Hulk 4184, Terra 3009. Just no enthusiasm right now in a lot of this stuff. And look, it's the new stuff coming through the market that all the enthusiasm is in on. Cult 7817, $149 in trade volume, but no price action, no positive move on Cult. MMAI 37.98, continuing its slide to the downside after such a great run all the way up to about, what do we call this, 42.87, 42.83 as a local high. Lillian 61.10, again, continuing the same trend as everybody else, just not a lot of volume. Cato 9,000 in volume. Wagme Games 17,000 in volume. Again, just not moving, most of it being sells. You can see right here, 13 buys, 16 sells in the 24-hour period. Yakuza Inu, same thing, just 1 and 2, just not a lot of action going on. BRL is probably suffering the same thing. 7 buys, 8 sells. Just, again, like I said before, BRL has to get back into this little area. And here's the thing, even if it doesn't, it's still going to have this moment where it turns around and starts going crazy. Like I understand that, and I know that. But it's nice to see for investors, because even if you're not going to be there for the long term, I would prefer that, you get that opportunity when it comes to BRL to do that. Decanect at 9.6 cents, all the way up to 12 cents. We got a new big whale investor 3 new exchanges coming, and you see all of this right here, and then you just see sideways action because the whales that are in it are just holding. By the way, just full disclosure, when you come over here and you look at the holders and you are looking through that whales list, then you do see believes.eth. So I do have a vested interest in this thing doing well. Just so you guys know, when I tell you that I do like this project, it's because they let me do educational content, which is the coolest thing to me, because I do feel if I have any knowledge that I can share, then I feel like it's my obligation to share it with you guys. Hopefully you appreciate it, and hopefully it makes you a better investor. NGN is at 11.38 cents. And if you just look at this, we started at 2 cents. I got in at 2 cents, and we're up 5x on it. Again, not huge volume, not a huge market cap. It's a brand new startup, but these guys have some muscle behind them. They've got some exchanges coming that are going to surprise and shock you. And here's what's going to happen. This is one of those things where I feel like we're going to have that sort of moment. And that moment's going to be where, oh man, I can't believe I could have gotten in on this when it takes off, right? And everybody's going to miss out. And they're going to miss out because it's a bear market and nobody wants to throw a few bucks at something just to see what happens. Because I'm in it right here for 120 bucks. I'm not into this for a whole lot, but liquidity is over 50%. So if there's a 10 million market cap, that's 5 million liquidity. This is a big liquidity pool. So price action not going to be too weird, not going to be too high and too low. You know what I mean? So Saitama 23.92. Again, feeling that pressure, that downward sort of momentum. There's nothing happening over here. We got to this bullish, and I told you that there was a pennant forming, right? Arguably a pennant forming, and it is now breaking to the downside. And it did not hold up at the 24.12 resistance. It came down below it, and now it's being held back by that same resistance point. So if that is the case for any extended period of time, then we're going to be testing 1853 before you know it. So BCB down 12.1%, testing off of this line. And guys, here's the deal, right? This is 1155. This thing's going to be testing 1800. The way that this has gone so far is 13 to 16. That's a 20% increase. So from 16, another 30% increase. That puts us at if it pumps right now, we'll put it at around 2,000. So I do think that I do think that we're going to be testing 2,000 off of BCB like soon, or 2,100. That might even be a little aggressive out there, but this is BCB is going to move again. Shibi, I think it's dead. 5,000 market cap, 5,000 liquidity. Like the liquidity is higher than the total market cap. So I think it's safe to say that Shibi is like a dead stick here. No trading today except for a bunch of sells. So I feel like maybe it's just a little bit done. I heard somebody say something about it today, like it's about to pump again, but I'm not sure. Like I have no idea. Miyamoto in the house. This, by the way, is the CEO of NGN. NGN has its first full week ahead, and we're looking at making marketing go out every day. CoinGecko and CMC applications submitted. DEX tools update filed. We are also communicating with exchanges, and we'll discuss with network. And in fact, we're going over some of the presentation. In fact, so you're going to start to see a little bit of the presentation about NGN that you haven't really seen yet, that we're going to have coming up very, very soon. We're going to have like not an expose or whatever you call it, but just kind of we're going to redress some of because we've already done the white paper. We've already done the website. We've already done the launch. We did have that live stream for the launch, stuff like that. So now it's going to be time to really kind of dig down and see why is it that a stock trader, super smart, who can make tons of money, is over here in the crypto space, and what kind of tons of money could he be making for us by doing investments in our neck of the woods? So we're going to check that out, and we're going to see what this looks like over the long term. But if you haven't already, go check out NGN. Again, I'm up 5x on this, very small bag, but I'm up 5x on it already. And the way I see it is, if it goes to a 5 million market cap, then it's a if it goes to a 10 million market cap, I think it's a 100x. I have another 100x. So my first 100x, by the way, was Volt. So, and reminder for those of you that weren't here, this is all AI generated. How kick ass was this thing, huh? I did some, I went to Midjourney, and I used the Midjourney Discord and came up with a whole bunch of different images and stuff like that, which I'm going to be sharing and using for the next little while. So hope everybody likes them. Anyway, so to summarize here, the market is a little bit of a mixed bag today. It's we're going to be nervous. We might see some pump. We might see some enthusiasm, because I think that everybody wants this market to run. So I think that a lot of people are convincing themselves that it's going to run. And thank you for the $10 bomb, Mr. Cryptocurrency. NGN sending big thanks your way, please. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything. And we got more Volt in the house. And we got to stop for Maddie B all the time, right? We got to stop for Maddie B at every given opportunity. So anyway, let me go back over here just 1 second so that you guys can see this one more time. So this is it. This is the chart, and we want to get to an hour because we want to see kind of this right here, right? We have not flipped money flow into the green on Bitcoin, right? But we also haven't flipped it into the green on the total. But we have hit that first green on Ethereum, which should mean that Ethereum might be ready for a little bit of a run. I don't know. It's a little bit early, so we'll see whether it does or it doesn't. But it's good to see that, because that might mean that we're going to have some kind of run. Band protocol is also taking off. You can see just big green money flow all the way. Ethereum Classic, not in the money flow. Uniswap just started. Cardano, nope. Dot, 2 ticks, 2 hours into the money flow. So it looks like the blockchains are going to start running. Doge did have that 9.5 cents, but let's face it, I don't know how long this is going to last, because Doge had that one run, but after that, not much. So all eyes are going to be on this for the next little while. We're going to price in all these. Events, what we think it's going to be. If we're right, then the market's going to continue to move. If we're wrong, the market's going to start dumping. It's not going to be, I don't think we're going to get anything horrible. But I am concerned about Google's earnings. I'm concerned about Apple's earnings. I'm concerned about, and I'm real concerned about Google's earnings, because I know the Pixel Phone Pro. Look, guys, I bought that Pixel, the Google Pixel Pro 7, and this thing has like a little green shit on the side of the screen. I don't know if you guys can even see it, but yeah, you can't really see it, but it's just broken ass phone already. So they're sending me a replacement. That's not good. And I'm seeing a lot more of that coming around. And they've already dropped the price from $1,000 to $799 to $800. So, there's a lot of, so I'm nervous about Google. I know how much money I'm getting on ad revenue, and I'm concerned about that too. So I think Google's profit's going to be down. Apple, I heard the same thing about the iPhone 14. There's a bunch of maxis out there saying it's the greatest thing ever, just like people were saying about the Google Pixel Pro 7, including me, by the way. But people are not buying it. They don't have the disposable money in order to buy it. So I think that, I think that we're going to be in for some perhaps rude awakenings over the next little while. And if we check right here, the earnings for Turamo We've got ExxonMobil, and they're forecast at 332. And we've got Pfizer, and you know, Donnie Drugbash, they're going to be making some money. And it's going to be a joke if they don't. But McDonald's is going to be a big one. UPS is going to be a big one. Caterpillar is a big one. Amgen, AMD is on the clock for tomorrow. Most of these are going to be morning, but Amgen, AMD, Stryker, and Chubb, they're going to be in the evening. So we do have some stuff going on here, but you also got Marathon, Phillips 66, General Motors. I mean, this is a big day tomorrow. So we'll have a good idea of what that day is going to be like tomorrow morning pretty quickly. Like I don't think we're going to have to wait very long to find out whether it's going to be a good or bad day. And as we can see right here, it's just kind of average as we price it in. So that's where we are. Hopefully we have a good day tomorrow. We will see what happens. Until then, and I'll be here for breakfast in the morning. We're going to look at all these prices. We're going to look at all this action. We're going to decide whether or not we're still bullish. Spoiler alert, we're still bullish. This is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I am always right. We will talk to you guys again in the morning.
Looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I want to be shining like diamonds.